Okay, let's go on to the next question. Number 6. Which expression is equivalent to 1/3 times 6x squared y squared times 2x cubed y to the 4th? So I would prefer that we work this out the algebra way, but I'm going to show you the Desmos way too. All right, so this is question 6. 1/3 times 6x squared y squared, and then 2x cubed y to the 4th power. And then I can do all my answers and find out which ones match. So I can do A, 4x to the 7th, y to the 6th, B, 24x to the 7th, y to the 6th, C, 4x to the 12th, y to the 8th, and D, 24x to the 12th, y to the 8th. Okay, so let's do the math the algebraic way. Here I have to first apply this square here to all of these terms inside this set of parentheses. So this becomes 1/3 times 6 squared times x squared squared times y squared times 2x cubed y to the 4th power. This means I multiply these powers together. So this is now 1/3 6 squared, which is 36. Oops, made a little mistake. Oopsies. Times 36 times x to the 4th times y squared times 2 times x cubed times y to the 4th. I've now put everything in their own little group so that I can look at common bases now. So this x and this x have the same base, so now I need to add their exponents because they're not being raised to a power anymore. It's just this guy and this guy, and then this y and this y, and 36 gets multiplied by 1/3 and 2. So first let's do the numbers, the digits. 1/3 of 36 is 12, and then times 2 of that is 24. That automatically gets rid of these answers if I know what I'm doing. Then I'm going to take x to the 4th power and add it to the 3rd power. So x to the 3 plus 4 is 7. Oops, these are correct. These end up being incorrect. This was a yes, and this one's a yes, possibly. So x to the 4, and then y squared, and then y to the 4th would be y to the 6th power. I'm not finding that answer there, so let me see what I did wrong. Okay, I am finding it. It's right here. This is the 7th power, and this is the 6th power, and this is what I got. Now, here's how to check in Desmos to see if you got it correct. Go to Desmos. Everything has to be in x. We cannot type y's, okay? So the first thing we need to type in is this long part of our problem at first here. So this is, I hit my division bar, and then 1/3 times 6x squared x, and then quantity squared. Notice I'm using all x's, no y's, no w's, no p's, all x's only for these. And then times 2, x to the 3rd, x to the 4th, close parentheses. Now, if I chose this as my answer, 24x to the 7th, y to the 6th, I can come here and say 24x to the 7th, x to the, 6th. And I should see that it covered up what I did before. Okay, that means it is correct. I want that answer. Now, if I chose 4x to the 7th, x to the 6th, then I could zoom in because this does not show me. These are incorrect because one is not on top of the other. They must be laid out on top of each other. Now, if I zoom out, like, yeah, it looks like they're the same. Cool, it's all well and good, but your viewpoint should be at a 10 going to the left, a 10 going to the right, a 10 going up, and a 10 going down, unless our numbers are really big. So if you want to jump back to the regular zoom, you can hit the house button. No, that still ain't it. Zoom in and double check always. Make sure that they are totally and completely aligning and covering each other up. This green one is incorrect. This red one is not being visible. Let's see if I can move it this way. Now the red is on top. Okay, so I need to see that that is my answer. And if I just want these two because I think that's what I got, then cool, check it, type it in, but always zoom and double check. All right, number 7. The graph of a line is represented by the equation 5x minus 8y equals 40. Y'all, this one eats y'all alive every time because we forgot from back in September where we were doing that IXL lesson. I think it was like TSS or something, the one that nobody wanted to do. This is what we have to do here for the STAAR test. It's not going anywhere, okay? We've got to know how to solve for y. It says which value represents the rate of change, that is my slope. Okay, I've got to know rate of change, y equals mx plus b. It's the m, not the mx. There's no x in these answers, it's just the m. So it's the number next to the x. And we want to know what the rate of change is of y with respect to x. They're just saying slope. What is the slope? They're using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 words to say slope. Rate of change of y with respect to x. We don't need all of that, y'all. Slope. Rate of change, slope. Whenever we see 5x minus 8y equals 40, whenever we see a 2 variable equation like this, we need to solve for y. Solve for y, solve for y, solve for y. Okay, let's get that stuck in our heads. Come over here and solve for y. How do we do so? Draw a line. Get rid of your x. Or get rid of whoever's over there with the y, because sometimes it's a number that doesn't have an x. This does not become 35x because there's no x here. Remember, I've got to have 3 terms at the end because I started with 3 unlike terms. So then I bring down my negative 8y equals negative 5x plus 40. Y is still not by itself. It has a negative 8 being multiplied by it, so now I must divide by negative 8. Everything gets divided by negative 8. These get canceled out because negative 8 over negative 8 is 1y, and then these negatives now become a positive. If you're not sure, check with Desmos. Let me come to Desmos. Negative 5 divided by negative 8. Okay, that's 0.625. Always leave it as a fraction. 5/8 is my answer. Done. 5/8x. And then if I'm not sure what 40 divided by negative 8 is, 40 divided by negative 8, oops, is negative 5. I have now found my y, and my m is important. Slope. Rate of change of y with respect to x. Rise divided by run. Delta y divided by delta x. Change in y divided by change in x. All of that is a fancy way of saying a 5-letter word, slope. Okay? This is who I want. Number 8. Oops, I chose the wrong answer. Okay, the first 5 terms of a sequence. Sequence, whenever you see this a sub 1, a sub 2, a sub 3, this is a y equals mx plus b situation. Okay, these are points, ladies and gentlemen. So, number 8, make your x and y table. 1, 2, 3. Y equals mx plus b. 1, wherever you see this 1, that's your x value, and 47 is your y value. 1 and 47. 2 and 33 and 3 and 19. 33, 19. I bet you forgot how to do this. These are now going to go into Desmos. Make your table. 1, 2, 3. 47, 33, 19. Now you hit your regression button. Make sure it says linear because this is a y equals mx plus b situation. That's all sequences, even though we really didn't touch on sequences. And then my equation is y equals negative 14x plus 61. So then when I go type in my answer, this just must like to move with me. Negative 14x plus 61. Done. What is the range of the function x squared or negative x squared plus 60? Number 9. F of x equals negative x squared plus 60x. I'm going to put this in Desmos and look for my vertex because that's where I get the range from. Here's what I wrote down. The equation, I'm using Desmos, and I'm looking for the range. Now, I don't need to type in f of because it's not giving me a parent function to begin with. Plus 60x. Whoa, I've got to zoom out for this one. Where is my vertex? It's coming. It's coming. Whoa, we've got to drag quite a bit for this. There it is. 30 and 900 is my vertex. Because it opens down, I need this y value because range goes bottom to top, RBT. So this goes top to bottom here. The top is 900 and less because the arrow should be pointing down. So let's find 900 and less. These are wrong. Wrong, because it says 0 to 30. Greater than 900, less than 900. All right, I got this nice long table here. This calls for, counselor asked college students how many hours they worked each week, yada, yada. Correlation coefficient. So that's where I'm looking for the R. So now I've got to make the chart in Desmos. I have to put in all these points. This isn't a regular y equals mx plus b, so hang tight. Alright, so I'm finishing up putting these in the Desmos. 87, 90, 94. Now I've got to make sure I check my regression, and I believe I have to export. Oh, no, I don't. This is just the regular R, not the R squared. This is negative 0.905. So I've got to figure out who this is closest to. So I drew my little number line. Remember, this is positive 1, and this is negative 1. And my correlation coefficient is negative 0.9005. So we'll call this a negative. And because it's, closer to negative 1, we're going to call it a strong negative. Now, if it were right here in the less than the negative 50% chance or range, then it would be a weak negative. But this is a strong negative. So we're going to close this guy out and choose a strong negative. All right, we're going to continue the next questions in the next video. I've got to go. I wonder if it'll say